Hi everyone, in this video we will discuss how we can implement a new system call and then we can use like the other system calls. So let's get started. So we are implementing our system call in the Linux 5.9.6. So to implement a new system call, first we have to decide the location where we want to implement it. And the location depends on the functionality of the system call. So for the purpose of this video, I have created a new directory where I am implementing my system call. So let's visit it. So this is the directory. Let's visit the content of it. So here are few files, but I have created only two files. This system call file and the make file. Other files will be generated when we build the kernel. So here in the system call, you can see that we have followed the syntax as we have discussed in the previous video. Here you can see I have appended underscore underscore x64. This is for a specific purpose. So I will tell you later why I have appended it. So let's see what this system call is doing. So it is not doing much. It is just printing this statement and it is returning 0. Now let's visit the make file. So in the make file, we are just creating the object file of our system call. After creating the system call, we have to register it in the system call table. So let's visit it. The system call table is specific for a specific architecture. So for x86, you can find on this path. So this is the system calls table. So here you can see that every system call is mentioned here. So first digit is the system call number and second is the type of the system call. So common means it is applicable for 64-bit systems and 32-bit systems. And this is the name of the system call like read. And this is the system call name. So as we have discussed, before every system call, we have to append sys so that system can identify it is the system call. So let's visit our system call. So I have already made an entry into this sys calls table. So here you can see that the system call number for my system call is 440 and this is for 64-bit systems and this is the name of my system call and this is the name so that system can identify it is a system call. Now we have to give an entry into the header file. So this header file contains the definition of every system call implemented in the Linux kernel. So as you can see that these are the entries for every kind of system call in the Linux kernel. So I have also given the entry for my system call. So this is our newly created system call. We have just given the entry here. Okay, so I forgot why we have appended this underscore underscore x64. So let me tell you again. So if we go back and visit the system called table file, then at the beginning you can see that it is saying that uh, this underscore 64 underscore sys is appended to the every system call on the fly when when you call the system call. So that's why we appended this underscore x64. So after making entries into these two files, syscall.h and syscall underscore 64.tvl, then we have to uh, tell kernel that include my system call while you are compiling. So for that purpose, we have to give the entry into the main make file of the kernel. So here you can see that uh, this this statement will ensure that these folders are included while kernel is being built. So we have created the new directory. So we are making an entry here so that kernel can include our system call into the build. So this is all to implement a new system call. After implementing and making entries in the appropriate files, we have to build the kernel so that our system call is integrated inside it. In my second video of this series, I have already discussed how you can build the custom kernel and then how you can boot the system with the newly built kernel. But here we will discuss very briefly how you can build the kernel. So these are the steps you can follow to build a kernel. So first we have to download the kernel on which we want to implement our new system call. Then you have to implement some packages so that uh, we can build the kernel successfully. After that, we have to go into the main directory of the kernel. Then you can copy the config file of already running kernel. Then you have to run make menu config so that it can make the configuration based on your requirement. Then we have to make the object files of the kernel. When the object files are created, then we can run make modules install. So it will create the kernel object files. And after that, we can install the newly created kernel object files. And then we can reboot the system. So in this way, you can build the custom kernel. And then you have to reboot with the newly created build kernel. So I have already built the kernel and rebooted it. So let me directly show you how you can use your newly created system call in the user space. So in this program, we are accessing our newly created system call. So this is the name of our system call as we have implemented it. So here you can see that in this variable, we are giving the system call number for 40. And this is kind of the wrapper function to access the system call. So we are including this wrapper function here because we don't have library support, the C library support for our newly created system call, because we have to create some wrapper functions in the C library. But right now we are not using C library, so directly we are defining in this way here. So if we build this program and run, so I have already built. So let me directly run it. So here you can see that it is saying syscall accessed directly. So let me visit again. So here you can see that when our system call is returning 0 or positive value, then we are saying that system call accessed successfully, because our system call was returning 0. So it has successfully returned 0. And in our system call, we have written a print case statement. That means that statement will be printed in the kernel space. So we can get that message with the help of D message. So let me run. So this is the kernel log. So it is saying that this is my new system call, and this is the same statement that we have written in our system call. So in this way, you can see that we have implemented our new system call, and after that, we have accessed it with the help of the user program. So this is all for this video. I will see you in the next video.